Hello and welcome everyone to our episode today of The Voice of a Starweaver. We have a very special treat to have Sue Kemsley with us. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you so much for having me, Kathleen.
Sue is my dear sister in Australia, just over the ditch from me here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. And I'm going to read Sue's beautiful bio. So, from England to Australia at 3 years old, Sue has always been aware of differences and the potential for discomfort in that. Her passion is for all to become their shining selves. As a primary teacher, energy worker, and relationship counselor, Sue has uncovered a wealth of self-care and thriving tools that she loves to share. Sue's passion is to share these tools and the joy they can bring both into our bodies and our world. Singing, drumming, shaking, and chanting all shift internal energy so we can become all that we truly are. Anchoring our passion with the wisdom of the stepping stones we've grown through along the way. Our power to choose in every moment how we feel, how we respond, how we honor, and how we shine. We each have this within us, and sometimes we need a hand to find our magic wand. And Sue loves to hold space with souls who cross her path to lean into the magic of choice, recalibration, and owning their brilliance. So, Sue, you say together we shine, and we have an amazing topic, title for today, Chooseday Tune Up. And I know you have a beautiful practice that you're going to bring us all into this call together with.
Thank you so much, Noreen. Noreen. Oh, that's a combo of both your first names.
Kathleen and Nora, I'm named after both of my grandmothers.
Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I want to honor you, my sister. This journey would not have taken place without being drawn to the cauldron of the quantum back a little while ago, and it's just, I don't know, blossomed into such gorgeous shining for many and many more to come, I hope. And I want to dedicate this song to you, and I'm going to hope and intend that I don't choke up through it. For you, my darling, Kathleen. You are my sister. You ask nothing of me. In return, love is a gift given easily. You are the colors of the rainbow. You are the happiness we seek. In return, truth is the gift given easily. You are the quiet of night. You are the shelter we seek. In return, comfort is a gift given easily. You will always be my sister. You ask nothing of me. In return, understanding is a gift given easily. I didn't do a warm-up, obviously, but you felt, I hope, the intent behind that.
I felt the rivers and the threads that have connected us as star weavers and sisters in many lifetimes, Sue. And for you to share your voice, the voice of a star weaver, as inspiration to all of our listeners, to everybody, that it's time for us all to come and sing our songs and sing them together as sisters, as brothers and sisters all around the world. So
Mm.
I'm just receiving in all of my cells. Thank you, dear sister.
You're welcome. It's a beautiful segue, actually. I need to tell you who wrote that song. It was a group of women called Tiras. And Tiras is, I'm not sure what kind of area, but it's a Koori word, our First Nations word for sisters. And they are just amazing. I tripped over them on the banks of the Yarra River. They were on stage performing, and our son, who's just about to turn 42 tomorrow, was about 3. And one of them jumped off the stage to play hacky sack with him, and I just fell in love with them immediately. And they've been part of my journey for so long. And I think it was just this morning that I actually wrote down the words to that song that's just so dear to my heart. And come, you know how songs come when there's a message there for you to take heed of. I was so impressed that I ended up inviting them a couple of years later. I'd been doing a gorgeous job, my favourite job in the world, as you kind of alluded to before, which was doing the research to set up a women's health service for Gippsland region. And I had the delicious role of being, granted a work car, a little red, I don't know, tiny thing. And I got to travel all over Gippsland for about 9 months and talk to groups of women and ask them what they wanted. What would they choose if they had the choice, if they could say what they wanted in a health service and a health provider? What was it that they wanted? And, eyes would widen, and the things that I heard and the things that women shared about what they weren't getting, what they wanted instead, how they could be honoured and listened to. That was what they wanted. They wanted to be honoured and listened to. And when we put all the research together and we put in the submission, it was rolling out anyway across the state. So it was kind of a done deal, but it didn't matter. It was, we had our grand opening of the Women's Health Service in Sale. And I invited Titus to be the band at the opening. And it was so good. It was so good. I'll pause.
Oh, beautiful. And how often do we take it for granted that we have a choice, or that we will be asked what it is that we want? It's something that seems to be actually a privilege, and one that wasn't afforded to so many of our ancestors and to so many still in our beautiful world. So I love that you have spoken about this. And can you speak about it a bit more? Like, do you have some more journeys to talk to about this these choices, like choose?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's interesting because actually, having been the researcher and, with a committee setting up the centre, it was such a gorgeous women's space, and people would share from their hearts where they were at. And I was just sharing a moment ago with my partner, remembering this story of one of the women having a relationship breakup. And so she was in her house and she'd come to the centre and share that, I didn't feel like her place, and there's all his energy still there. And we all just leapt up and said, right then, let's go and clear the space. So we had smudge sticks, we had incense sticks, we had bells, we had drums, we had whistles, all the things. And we all trooped there, and we did this like a conga line with stuff through the house, and we're climbing over the couches and the beds, and every space was cleared. And it was just so gorgeous, so delicious. And you can imagine her hand on her heart at the end of that and saying, that feels better.
Yeah, that feels better. And this does bring me to the energy part of your journey, but how beautiful when women can come together and just clear the space of old energy as a tribe, like as we have done many
Absolutely.
times through
Yeah.
our, many times, and just to be able to bring that in and know what a difference it makes. The intention, the community, of course, the magic of the herbs and the ritual and the drumming and the music.
Yeah.
that's something that people could do in their own space if they were feeling a little bit helpless of the
For
energy
sure.
stagnant. Like I
Mm,
don't know how to move forward because I have these old energies here. So
mm.
beautiful, Sue. But yeah, talking of energy, can you please tell me about your energy journey?
Well, it's really interesting because it kind of started in the same place, in that same kitchen, in that same women's health service where um, someone mentioned the word Reiki and my eyes went, what? What is that? I want to know that. I need to know that. And so, there was some kind of clunky description of what it might be. And um, and I and then I happened upon an ad in the local for me, like sales about an hour away. And anyway, long story short, there was someone offering Reiki close by. Yes, I'm in. And yeah, that gorgeous woman taught me Reiki 1. Christ consciousness was mentioned, and my jaw dropped to the floor, and I thought, Christianity, I'm not that fond of. Religion, I'm not that fond of. I hope this isn't. And of course, it wasn't. Christ consciousness is that gorgeous magenta color that you're wearing. And it is that expansiveness and the open heart. And I know that people who are listening won't hear, but it's like that. It's like the open heart with infinity. And this is actually covered in cobwebs. And that for people who are watching, we can do that. We can imagine an open heart around us as a container, and then we can use our hands to make that infinity loop 3 times, and then bring our hands to our hearts and actually hold and feel that energy that we're inviting from the universe. The symbol's name is Mayurama, infinite compassion, infinite love.
Beautiful. So yeah, infinity symbol. And so tell me a little bit more. You've done your Reiki 1. You're
Yeah. Wow.
tapping into that Christ consciousness. What was the next step?
Oh, the next step was just all deliciousness. And continuing on, I reconnected with an old friend in interesting circumstances. I'd gone to a school camp with my daughter. She's in grade 5 at the time, so this is a few years later. But this woman that I had known, she was my rescuer. Like I was a bit like the princess and the pea. I'd slept on a melaleuca nut, and I woke in the morning and I couldn't move. Like my back was just totally seized up. So I was useless on the camp. And scrambling in my brain, who lives close to here? Who do I know? Who can I call on? Rang all the chiropractors. No, nothing. Nowhere's open. Can't do anything. And I thought, Annie will know. And she said, oh, well, I know none of them are open today, but I've just done Reiki. So come sleep on a soft bed. I'll give you some Reiki. And I said, that I don't believe that, because I've just done Reiki too. And so I managed to get there, and we're just zapping off each other. The electricity is like, zzz. It was incredible. And we did Reiki 2 together. And then a few years later, we did our Reiki Master together, which is almost unheard of. But yeah, incredibly special. And we were gifted when we finished. We went down to the beach at Meetung, which was close to where our Reiki Master was teaching us. And a pot of dolphins went by.
Magic. And please tell me, so with all this beautiful electricity zapping between you two, did it sort out your back?
Of course.
Of course, and you could go back and be camp mother again.
That is true.
Beautiful. So, Sue, can you please tell us how can you tell when your energy is not aligned and what can we do about it?
There's so many ways. I think one way is to notice that we're hunched, or notice that we're feeling deflated, noticing that we're not breathing deeply, noticing that we don't feel like we've got that helium balloon attached to the top of our heads, that it's actually lifting us up and opening up all our vertebrae and allowing for the flow of the energy that needs to happen through our bodies. Many different ways, but that's the one that kind of is resonating at the moment.
Yeah, I can definitely see humanity going about in the rat race ultimately and being hunched over because carrying so
It's
much
it's a
weight.
bit like being cowed,
Yeah.
being a bit fearful, being watchful, being over vigilant, and the impact that creates in our body of hypervigilance is stress and anxiety and adrenal fatigue and many things, probably chronic fatigue and those kind of autoimmune disorders. But yeah, the energy work kind of continued on from that. I actually chose to do my Reiki Master as well as for that reason. When I was working at Relationships Australia, there were a group of women who were falling through the cracks in the mental health system. They had attempted suicide. They had been refused hospitalisation because they weren't bad enough. And so a gorgeous woman who's no longer with us, but who did so much beautiful good work in the world. She and I got together and said, this has got to change. And so between the psych services and Relationships Australia, we set up a group and we called it Feeling Good. And so it was a weekly opportunity for women who needed a really safe space to be once a week through school terms. So school holidays we had off. We set it up so that people could leave at the end of a term if they felt their journey was complete, or they could continue on, but then also new people were allowed in or invited at the beginning of term. So there was always a flow of people who had grown, who were ready, who would move on, but then those other ones that came in with I don't know, the sense of achievement that the women who'd been there for a long time or a longer time could offer. And it was facilitated primarily by me, but the space was also held by one of the psych nurses. So there was that, those two pillars, those two earths holding space for these women to blossom, I suppose. And it ran for 18 months. It was so gorgeous. And I kept, the managers and stuff at the centre saying, so do you think you're done with that course yet? I said, no, it's not a course. I don't know what I called it, apart from feeling good. And it did.
And you said at the start, so many of the women were falling through the cracks of a conventional system. And what I really sense is you held that space for a woman to come together and be together in that safe space in order to fly, actually, and not fall. Yeah. And did
Yeah.
you weave your Reiki into this work as well?
No, it's what made me decide to become a Reiki master so that I could teach it. But the ethics of doing that with people in a government-funded organisation such as Relationships Australia didn't feel right. So if people found out about that and approached me separately, but I never advertised it, so to speak. Yeah.
And so, what was the next evolution? I know you've spoken of feedback before. What was the next evolution from this?
The next evolution was setting up a centre with a dear friend in another town locally. Initially, it was up in the old State Electricity Commission building up on the ridge, and it used to get called the Ridge. But we named it. We named one of the wings. We had the ground floor in one of the wings with about, I don't know, 10, 12 rooms in it. We had big plans. We called it Rainbows on the Ridge. And it was really cool because we had big rooms where we could have groups of people. And actually there was a couple of women that were doing something so similar to the name Starweaving. And I'm going to have to go back and have a look at that. They were awesome. But we each had an individual room for doing, like, Reiki sessions or whatever in, and a kitchen and a group space, and then another big room for bigger group space where we could have big circle and do nice circle stuff. I love circles. Oh.
Me too. And so, where does this feedback come in? Because what has been your favorite feedback over time?
Okay. So that bit is people saying that I'm always so calm and I'm always so centered, and I just, come up with what is required in the moment. And I'm thinking, who me? I've got there's a dissonance here between what people are saying and what I'm feeling inside. And that's less and less true. That dissonance has all but left. And it's a sign. That's one of the things to notice. If I notice that, I know I either need to give myself a big hug, take a deep breath, or do a little dance and shake it off. Yeah.
That dissonance, and I understand as well when people used to say to me I was very intuitive, and I didn't even understand what the word intuition really meant until I had my spiritual awakening. But it's beautiful that people can see and feel and sense the gifts that we may not yet be aware of ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. I've got shivers right now. It's not because it's cold.
Now, the title for this beautiful talk, Chooseday Tuna. Can you please give us a little bit of background behind this beautiful name?
I can. Oh, it's a story about a woman that I sang with in choir, and still do actually. It was just before we got locked down, and we were at her place. The choir had gone to her place to clear up all the sticks and stuff because she had a severely disabled daughter, and she just couldn't keep up with the physicality of, making it fire safe before the summer season. So we were there and doing our things. And because, it's a weird way to say it, but I can't keep my hands off people. I do ask permission, and I got permission to give her a massage. as all the others are, lugging things and doing the stuff. And it came to me that we've always got a choice. In any given moment, we always have a choice about how we respond to someone, how we do a U-turn in our thinking. And I realised that I wasn't being true to myself. I wasn't being as accountable as myself, and a way that I could do that through COVID and through lockdown was to actually do an online regular thing. And I can't remember how it landed, but that idea of doing it on a Tuesday, and actually, if you spell Tuesday without a T but with a CH, woohoo, that works. So I did that for a couple of years on a Tuesday morning, and it was good. It kept me accountable for holding space, for feeling that resonance between what was required by the group of people that were in that Zoom room, but also like it was on the floor in my living room. And so we could do stretches. We could do, stand up shaking off energy that didn't serve us. And we could do breathing practices, and we could share stories and acknowledge that we do have that choice, that even though the world was going crazy around us and we were, effectively locked in our homes, we could still make a choice to connect with like-minded souls and share and thrive through it.
And that's where the star weaving comes in, isn't it? Because I can see, as you've shared back over your journey of going around and asking all these beautiful women all around the country, what would they choose? So it's like there's some common threads that I've seen woven. One is supporting women, like in a group of you, like going and helping to smudge and clear the energy together, or going and helping some other woman through clearing the sticks and providing the energy work as well. So I just love seeing how everything weaves together, and how our soul is leading us towards our real offering our legacy work in the world. And I know you have a Tuesday tune-up session. Can you please tell us a little bit about that?
Not really. I don't really know what it's going to be yet. It might be similar to what I've just described, and it may be something completely different.
Can you weave your energy work into this?
I can. And just while we're doing that, I am going to be cheeky. Not so cheeky, but I'm going to claim my new name.
Well, I love a bit of cheekiness, so.
Right here, right now. There we are. And now I am Chooseday.
Chooseday.
So here's another story, and this is a recent and profound story where this, I'll tell you the backstory of how the name landed, but I went and had a healing session from a dear friend on Saturday. And what I really wanted to do was to empower my internal masculine. Say g'day, say you're welcome here in my body. I've been such a feminist for so long. And it's like, yeah, what are you hanging around for? Anyway, through this session, she was asking me, so what are you seeing? What's going on? And I said, I'm walking through the canyon of all the old Sues, all the dust and all the stuff that's passed. But this is what happened for me in a shamanic workshop many years before. And my totem is a saber-toothed tiger. And I had forgotten. And so what it felt like was happening was that I could be that saber-toothed tiger, but I also had another aspect, and it was almost like 2 feet of the tiger were feminine and 2 feet were masculine. That just landed so beautifully. And I think I'm still buzzing and assimilating that session. That was 3 days ago. So yep, I am in joy.
And that's very poignant that we do the feet to divine feminine pause, or to divine masculine pause, of having that balance together, because we can't action our soul gifts in a world without the help of our divine masculine.
Absolutely.
And so it's very important that we do not shut down one or the other. And I think this is very pivotal for how we move forward in the world, like
Yeah.
embracing the divine and sacred masculine within each and every single one of us. And so, Suzai, where did this name come
Yes.
from?
Well, I had spent a ghastly day, and I'd staggered up to my little cubby house in the veggie garden, and I just thought, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't want to be all those people. I don't want to be Sue. I don't want to be Susie. I don't want to be Sue Q. I don't want to be Susan like I was as a child. And so I don't know, I've got about 5 or 6 videos with this fire in front of me, just videoing the fire and speaking all this shit out. Excuse me, sweet. And then I came back down, and that evening I was just sitting out on the veranda in the quiet. And I took a deep breath and I sighed. I thought, oh, so sigh. Oh my goodness. And what happened last Saturday with this, it's like, the Sue is the masculine side. Like if it was written across my chest, Sue would be on my right breast and Sai would be on my left. So the masculine and the feminine just breathing, being able to exhale all the stuff that no longer serves and take in that breath. And it actually, Steiner, what do they call it? Eurythmia. No, not eurythmia. Anyway, SU, my name, is bringing things down from heaven, the wave of the bringing it down. And the U is the receptacle that it comes into. And I haven't connected with the woman that could tell me what the sigh might mean, but I'm looking forward to that. The journey continues.
Journey continues, and just what I feel is that sacred sigh of that, the inhale, that the slow, delicious inhale that we can take, and then the sacred sigh that comes
Yeah.
after. So I'm so happy that we get to share a space and you claim your name, your voice, you use your voice and you claim your sacred name. And knowing that everything is going to unfold here from in with your soul work and legacy in this world, Suzai. And so just before we finish off, I know, did you have a poem that you wanted to share with us all?
I did. I'm just wondering whether I'll be able to find. No, that's You Are My Sister. Ah, it's a funny one. And it links back, we've come full circle to the beginnings of this energy work and the aligning with that sacred feminine that has a bit of power and a bit of chutzpah. May I read it? They stood in a line at the paddock's edge, grinning at the new dawn view, a grin of bliss, of shared joy and fun, and a sense of being as one. We'd been piled in the bed. I'm the fifth one in, and bang, the bed fell to ground. Through the floor it went, to peals of delight. You wouldn't read about it. Well, you might. But back to the line, in full power stance, we graced the earth with our streams, releasing the old with such power and might, a moment you'd hardly dream. And so it was clinched, the sisterhood claimed, our delight in this crazy mad world, our delight in our power to be who we be. Cheers to the standing bush we.
Just perfection to close, full circle. There's Chooseday. Thank you for sharing your voice with us today. It's inspiration. It's been an absolute joy, she said before. And I will include your details with this, with this recording, with this interview, so people can reach out and connect with you for your emerging delicious Chooseday tune-up. So thank you to our gorgeous audience. Thank you once again, Sue. It's just such an honor.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. Both hands on my heart. All love. Thank you so much.